Hi, I'm David and welcome back to DeliBytes. It might seem like much of a muchness, but you'd be surprised how often I get asked whether somebody should be sitting or standing whilst filming a piece of interview content. So I thought I'd run through the pros and cons of each of them to give you a better idea. So typically, standing you'll find is a little bit more immediate and it's a little bit more active. It gives people a lot more room to kind of move their hands and things like that. Though if you find somebody is a very active person, they might be tempted to kind of rock back and forth or sway to the side, and that's not going to give you a clear message because people are going to be looking at them rocking instead of what they're saying. So if you do find somebody is a little bit hyper, it's usually best to try to put them in a chair unless that's really what you're going for. Same for somebody that's quite fidgety or nervous in front of a camera. Standing, they might feel like they're in front of a firing range, so it might be best to seat them down. That way they can't really move around as much and they're more locked into the content that you're filming. And finally, I always say that it's best to film anything that's like a man on the street vox pop, where you're just grabbing somebody and quickly asking them some questions. If you're trying to get someone's time quickly and they're giving it to you on the fly, it's usually best to film that standing instead of forcing them into a chair and miking them up and doing something a bit more formal. It's best to just have a handheld mic, hand it to them and just film it best you can. It's going to feel more immediate and they're going to give you fresher answers and be happier to help you out. Then sitting, there are a few pros and cons to that. It does feel a little bit more formal unless you put the interview subject on a couch. Then it seems very casual, so that's why I'd usually advise never to do that, because you have people kind of leaning back and you just end up seeing a lot of chin. So just look for a nice steady chair and keep them in there. Particularly if you're doing anything that's professional or finance-based, it's usually always best to have people sitting if you want that kind of, you want a little bit more elegance and a little bit more structure. And a seated setup is always best if you're doing interviews with a lot of people and you have to cycle them through. It means that you're not adjusting the camera for people's height or moving back and forth. Pretty much when everyone's seated, it only requires minor adjustments to capture them all. So if you've got a lot to do or people are going to be sitting for long periods of time, definitely go with a seated arrangement. I hope this has been helpful and given you a clearer idea if you're filming some interview content soon about whether sitting or standing is going to be best for your project. If you do have any further questions, let us know in the comments section below or get in touch with us on delyagency.com.